Hey folks, welcome back to the Ducks Quack Show, number 14. We've got a couple players, a couple hot players, a new player, a hot player, and the head coach. Welcome back. I'm going to start from the far end. Coach Falzone, welcome back. You're on every show. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Nice game this past weekend. Cole Rodriguez, one of our new mature players, about 2000, from the St. Louis area. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Put a half dozen games in with the Ducks now already.
Give or take.
Yeah. And Logan Potts, an 03 from Allen, Texas. I think the last time I spoke to you was in Louisiana. Is that right?
Yeah.
So 4 goals on the season so far. 3 of them in the last 2 games. You sure know when to get hot, don't you?
Yeah.
So let's start out with the coach as usual. Just going through. We only just the 1 game last weekend. Again, you know, you drop positives. Ultimately, it didn't go down as a dub, but pretty darn close. Led after 20, led after 40. A lot of good things in the game. The thing that really stood out to me was the breakout. Definitely spending a lot less time on our own end.
Yeah, I think the biggest part of that game was the passing was nice, the breakout getting out, and then we moved the puck, which is something we haven't been able to do yet. We got the puck out, cleared, there's 2 or 3 passes with nobody in the way, you know, good passes, tape to tape, and then, you know, at the same time we were digging for the puck and getting those goals, and we weren't stopping until the whistle blew or the buzzer blew, so
yeah,
it was a good first 2 periods.
Yeah, for sure. Still over 50 shots against, I think, but we score, or we had 20 or 25 shots of our own, so the gap is still wide, but it's narrowing, and that's all you can do at this point, I think.
Yep, the young kids are starting to understand. You know, we got a couple of senior players in, that some veterans that know what they're doing, and they came out, and I think that's a big influence for the guys to get a couple more leadership roles by bringing those veteran kids in.
Yeah. We have 5 2000s now, so that's a nice number. Started the season with 2, now we have 5. The neat thing is they're all defensemen, so that's probably played a big part in getting that sort of more organized and maybe a little bit more able to move the puck in our own end.
Yeah, it brings a lot more confidence in the back end.
Yeah.
Having the 5 guys back there, and when they move the puck up, I think the players are trusting them. And the goalies trusted them, and they're trusting each other, which is defensively wise, that was the best trust I've seen all year was in the last game.
Yeah.
They started trusting each other, backing each other up, and it was huge.
Yeah, for sure. Cole, you're an experienced junior player. Last year you played on a couple of pretty solid teams. The Aviators in New York, Mike Stanaway does a great job there. That's a high octane offensive team. Kind of the opposite of us, I guess. They really do a lot of skating and shooting. And then Fort Wayne, they had a pretty good inaugural season. You come here and you're filling a defensive role in your sort of aging out year. It's tough to do, but you really fit in well, really quick. You feel comfortable with the team so far?
Yes, I pretty much felt comfortable when I walked through the doors. Pretty much when I walked in, introduced myself to everybody, pretty much felt like a family.
Good. You've been a physical presence, and you made yourself very popular with your teammates on the weekend with a really nice play going to the aid of one of our snipers being right there to answer the bell, and we ended up coming out ahead. We lost a couple guys, including yourself. Coach will never get mad at you for standing up for your teammates, I'm sure of that. But definitely something that I'm sure the other teammates must have really appreciated.
That's how I've always been. I remember in New York, my very first junior game, one of my teammates there ran from behind and pretty much just dropped the gloves immediately for the guy who ran him. It was just second nature to me.
Yeah, it was a physical game, and like I said, it was something that was very much appreciated. For Jaden doesn't seem to be, like, he can fight his own battles despite his size. He's definitely right there, but it was nice for you to be there for him. And it looks like that's going to be your role as sort of a defensive and physical defenseman. Is that where you feel the most comfortable?
Yes and no. I can play a little bit of offense when needed be, but probably most of the season I'll play defensively.
Okay.
Just because I noticed a little bit, I saw a little bit, we kind of lack a little bit.
Yeah.
Coming in now, I feel like with all the boys watching, okay, we can play, we're secured now on the back end. Now let's bury it.
That's actually a good point. You and Canyon started the game, and I think you both got some power play time. Am I right on that, Coach?
I know Canyon started with marks,
Okay.
but they did get power play time and penalty kill time.
Yeah. So you're really counting on these senior sort of defensemen to kind of carry the load on the special teams, I guess.
Yeah, because they know the spots better than other guys do. They know where to be. They know the positioning. They know how to back each other up when they have to, but they know how to get in the play at the same time. And it's a good example for the rookies to understand and see. So that's been a big addition for our group, is watching them do it, and then they're saying, "Okay, they can do it, so can I," and it's been helping out a lot.
Logan, we said kind of a breakout couple of games here for you. Scored twice against the Vipers on Sunday, and I remember seeing you in Louisiana, and you do have that 0 to 60 speed, really good. And the thing I like is there's nothing fancy about it. You don't mind going a long way around a defenseman, and usually you can make it happen. You have deceptive speed, I think. You can sort of work your way around the defenseman, get some nice angles. Plus a little bit of line juggling due to injury and some other things. Looking for some chemistry, Coach was saying. Definitely you're with a couple of good teammates right now.
Yeah, I'm liking the line I'm with right now. Sadly, Jaden's out for the next game, but
Right.
I feel like I'm doing well with other people, just in general, and using my speed can help get like other people open as well as myself, so I can make a play.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed to this point on this season, and I think sometimes it happens when you change line mates and stuff like that, is some of the communication isn't great, isn't perfect. Like I see sometimes like a behind the back pass or something, there's nobody there, stuff like that. But really a pretty instant chemistry between you and Jaden and right. So that was pretty quick. Is it just because you play together in practice, or just read each other really well, it seems?
Yeah, I'm not sure why we click so well, but I guess just some people are just able to click better than others.
Yeah.
We both have speed, and we both know where each other's going to be. And same with Dylan, we know where he's going to be when we need him. So I don't know how we clicked. Like, I think we've practiced for like a week together, and that's it. And we started clicking.
Coach, have you noticed that too? Like with the communication, it seems like it's getting better and better. There is sometimes when I think when it goes from defense to offense, sometimes there's a little bit of a lapse. But it does seem like the systems are starting to click in now, and the guys are they just know where to be now.
Yeah, they're starting to realize what we're telling them and how it works and why it works, and then at the same time they're starting to trust into each other, and they're becoming a family more than anything else right now. And until you trust each other, your passing, your drop passes, all that kind of stuff doesn't work unless you're going to believe that guy's going to be there.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I mean, you brought 16 rookies into a team, and it's
Yeah.
hard to trust each other right at the bat. You get 16 of the best kids from different programs, and you throw them together and you say, "Here, learn." It's hard with the limited number of veterans that we started off with, and now that they're starting to, I mean, this is a group becoming a family, and they're becoming very strong by doing that.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think is going to happen that people maybe haven't seen yet is, the one thing that's going to come is the depth. Almost every player that's on this team was a leading scorer on the high school team or the youth team or whatever. They are very young, and I think that they're probably as frustrated as everybody else about the lack of scoring. Potsy, you kind of had a breakout, and I think you scored your first goal to Showcase, if I'm not mistaken. And I think you were one of a number of players that were probably a little bit frustrated. The shots weren't going in. But once you get that first one, the gates kind of open, don't they?
Yeah. So once I scored that first goal in the Showcase, I've been putting points up since then. It's just like once you get that first goal, and you're like, all right, I can do this, and so you feel more relaxed.
Yeah, I've talked to a couple players. I think Driscoll was another who, he was getting tons of chances, and they just weren't going in. But once that first one goes in, you get the more quality chances after that. And I think that's the next step for the team, is just to turn the shots into quality shots. Now I think that with a couple, we're getting some bad angle opportunities and stuff like that. But you can just see the improvement every day, Coach. You must be pretty excited about what's going to happen in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I knew for the first 2 months, and I've been telling people for the first 2 months it's going to be very, very rough for this team. You got young kids, too many young kids in one group, but once they start clicking, they're going to be a team to compete with. And as we see it this weekend, we're starting. When we get everybody back healthy and everybody back in suspensions, we're going to click really well, and it's going to be a team that's going to start competing against everybody and giving teams a run for their money.
Yeah, and I discussed it with Coach Wall when the Hudson team was here a few weeks ago. I really see a lot of similarities between this team, between this team and that Hudson Havoc team from 3 years ago. They really had their struggles. They were just like us. They were a very young team. But now they're a formidable opponent, and they're a national championship caliber team. It's coming. This is going to be a year that the curve is going to be really steep this season. But you can tell we're just going to get better and better every time we go.
I agree. We're getting there, and we're gonna, by the end of the season, like I said, we'll be competing against a lot of these teams. At least 75% of them will be giving them a good run. And they're going to have to play on to beat us. That's what we're looking forward to.
Okay. So we have some pretty big changes here in the next few weeks. We did have a very light November schedule. Things have been changed a little bit. I'm going to throw most of it over to Coach because we talked about it. And I don't remember specifically, but I do think that the first change comes this weekend. The team was originally scheduled to basically have the weekend off and then head to Steele County or Owatonna, Minnesota for a Monday night game. And that's been changed. Coach, let's talk about that for a minute.
So yeah, we've had some change in the schedule due to different events happening. This weekend, Friday and Saturday, we'll be playing in Owatonna, taking up our games that we had scheduled during the week. This was an opportunity for them to get weekend games at their home rink, and they definitely want to do that. So we're more than welcome to go there, and we're looking forward to that. The weekend after that, we were actually off now because of the Boston trip being canceled. So we picked up a game against the River Kings, and we're making up a game against the River Kings. So Saturday we are at River Kings, and then Sunday they are here against us. And then from there, there's a few little more changes, but those are the big ones coming up right away.
Okay, so that's I'm not really good on the dates. I think that might be like the 20th and 21st.
21st and 22nd.
Okay.
21st is Saturday we'll be there, and 22nd they'll be here.
So if you're watching this and you have a schedule in front of you, actually, the one thing that you can do is go to the league website. That schedule is completely up to date now. Like I said, there's some pretty major changes. So the league website might not be accurate.
It should be up to date. Go to the DellsDucksHockey.net. That one is up to date with all the games that are changed and going on.
Yeah. All right, so just one more pass through here. First of all, Coach, I think one of the things that we were talking in the office before we came out here, and you said that this loss was in particularly difficult because it was a winnable game. And that in itself is saying something. I think there was a lot of games that we played this season where, even the last time we played the Vipers, I think, by the time the second period was over, we knew that we weren't going to get a dub on that night. But this one, right down to the wire, it made it harder because we got so darn close. But in the end, we're all pulling together, we're all rolling together, and that's a good sign.
Yeah, this one was the roughest. out of our losses that we've taken, and we have taken some major beatings. The one thing the team has never done is they haven't quit yet, and they kept pushing.
Yeah.
You know, this game here, we had the lead going into the third period, had the lead at the beginning of the third period, and unfortunately, we gave the win away, and they took it, and that was the one I told all the guys, out of all the games that we lost, this is the one that hurts the most, because it was a win that we had that we gave away, and that bothers me and the team.
Yeah. And just to add to that, that's one of the things that's been in place since the beginning of the season. You're right. Even some games we've been well out of them, we've never surrendered. And the other thing that I've noticed since day one, if we've had a positive thing since the start of the season, it's our forecheck. We don't get a lot of chances, but when we do, we're pretty aggressive on the forecheck, and you can see it kind of paid off against the Vipers, I think.
Yeah, we definitely got in the way. We put pressure on them, and we were blocking shots and blocking passes and taking them away. And I think Jaden took one. He blocked it off a player's shot, took it in, and brought it all the way down and scored on it. You know, Kachuk, and then Potsy here gets his opportunities lately because he's stepping in front of pucks and blocking them and taking them away from them, and they're not catching them. So it's been great to see that, and hopefully we can keep putting that pressure on teams and keep it in their zone most times instead of ours.
Okay, so let's pay one more visit to Cole. The defense, like I said, it's a veteran defensive core, and I think, like, you haven't been around for the whole thing, but it just seems like the last couple of weeks, the defense has done a really good job of sort of not falling into that trap where we just can't get out of our own end. There's been a lot of one pass outs, and Ergo skates the puck out quite often, and you as well. What has been the key to sort of just making that time in our own end a little bit more quick and painless?
Communication. Because I noticed my first game here, there was communication, but there wasn't much.
Okay.
So I noticed with me, obviously, everybody can hear me bark.
Okay.
Like when I'm calling out a play, like wheel, reverse, right up, center. That's how I noticed we've been getting more chances, and it soon followed everybody started communicating better. From either wheeling it, passing it to the winger, or even occasionally the high chip out too.
Okay. So when you say communication, is it literally like yelling or talking on the ice? Is that basically what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
So like for me, I have always been very vocal when I play, because I would expect my partner to do the same thing for me. If I didn't see a play, I expect him to call it out for me. Like if there's a play if there's somebody blocking my option on, go, let's say, the right side, and you see the center swinging up for a good pass, you'll scream center, pass up to him, get going.
Okay. And Potsy, I think, just sort of a continuation of that, I did see sort of our offense getting started now in the neutral zone. It's getting back. The communication between the forwards is a lot better. And I foresee you just getting a lot more chances, don't you think?
Yeah, I feel like with communication will come more chances, especially because people are also we're getting more open. We're starting to trust each other more. So like we know where each other's gonna be, and when someone like calls for it, like you don't even you can trust them enough that they'll be there, and that you'll know that they'll get it.
Yeah, and they are. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to thank all three of you again for coming out. And folks, if you want to catch the Ducks this weekend, if you live in Minnesota, they'll be in Owatonna. It's called the Four Seasons Center. It's a great rink, and they have a great home crowd. It's going to be an exciting weekend. Or Hockey TV. Saturday, and you said Friday and Saturday?
Friday and Saturday.
What time? Well,
7 o'clock Friday, 4 o'clock on Saturday.
okay. 7 o'clock Friday, 4 o'clock Saturday. Catch the Ducks in action. This is another really good opportunity for the Ducks. The Blades have a really good team this year. Coach Adamek has done a good job. But this is going to be a different Ducks team this time around. I think they got away with a 3-1 win against us in their last homestand. So this could be a big weekend, folks. Tune in, and thanks again, guys.
Thank you.